What's the most harmless friendship that ruined everything? Some random guy my girlfriend met at a party sent her a 7-minute voice message the next day, and that's when I knew I wasn't being paranoid. My girlfriend doesn't go to parties because she's shy and quiet, and she usually stays by the wall checking the time every few minutes. So when she told me she went out with her friends and actually had fun, I was surprised but happy for her. She told me she met some of her friends' guy friends there, and one of them really stood out. Apparently he was really funny, loud, and full of jokes, and he even gave her a piggyback ride just for fun. And she laughed while telling me that part like it was straight out of a movie. And I tried not to think too much about it because she told me everything, and she gave him her number in front of her friends, so I thought she just made a new friend and was being honest, and that should have been good. But then the next day, she told me he sent her 70 messages. Not 7 or 17, but 70. And she thought it was funny, and most of them were just random spams and silly emojis, but one of them was a 7-minute voice message where he talked about his 2 exes, his gym routine, and how much his life changed ever since he started to work out. And I just stared at her because that wasn't friendly. It was a move. So I told her calmly that he was flirting with her, but she disagreed and said he was just open and liked sharing stories, and I pushed again, but she defended him and told me I was overthinking, and that I always assumed the worst, and that broke something inside me because it wasn't even about the guy anymore. It was about her not trusting me. I felt lost for a while, and I just sat there with my thoughts racing, wondering if I was crazy or controlling or just making things up in my head. Days passed, and I tried to move on, and I asked her to call me to talk like we used to, but she said she was too busy with school, work, and errands, and I believed her because she's a really busy person. But then one evening, she casually mentioned that she'd spent half an hour on the phone with that guy, and she said it like it was nothing, so I got upset. Not just because of the call, but because she had time for him, but not me. I sent her a long message, and I told her our relationship wasn't a joke, and this wasn't about jealousy, but about being honest. And if she had just told me the truth from the beginning, we could have dealt with it together. We talked it out, and it was long and tiring, but we fixed things, and she apologized, and I tried to believe her, and I even met the guy later, and he was kind of cool, funny, and likable, but the damage was done, and my trust was like a work in progress. But then today happened, and she sent me a screenshot from him saying he didn't know how to say it, but she made him feel great, and he felt comfortable with her, and had feelings for her, and he knew she had a boyfriend, and respected that, so he was cutting contact, and said he was sorry, and that was it. And everything fell apart, and she looked at me and told me I was right all along, and she was so sorry, but I didn't yell or argue, and I just told her I knew I was right. She kept asking if there's anything she could do to make it better, but what was left to say? So I told her I needed space, not to punish her, but because I couldn't breathe with all the weight on my chest.